Hello, everybody out here. I'm Dirk Allman here, and I want to read you some old Thanksgiving things you could do at parties at Thanksgiving time. That I'll be reading from Funology. That's spelled Phunology. Funology by A.O. Harmon, the Book of Good Times, 1,000 Games and Entertainment Plans. And this is about things you could do at Thanksgiving and or harvest time around that time of year. And okay, here's one thing you could do. It's called Harvest Home Social. Have the guests come dressed in country costumes of sundry character. For instance, there may be the village gossip, the village conscience, the village belle, the village old maid, the country dude, the farmer, storekeeper, constable, etc. Award a prize for the best makeup. Lanterns, oil lamps, and candles are used for lights. Stalks of corn, pumpkins, ears of corn, and autumn leaves serve as decoration. Play rollicking old-fashioned games such as the Jolly Miller, Drop the Handkerchief, Jacob and Rachel, Going to Jerusalem, etc. A pumpkin seed hunt may be used to begin the fun. The village orchestra may perform at some place in the evening's program. Each one chooses an imaginary instrument. The leader announces the tune and then begins playing, making appropriate noise and movement for the instrument he selects. All players play their respective instruments in the same manner. The leader may be playing the flute. If he stops suddenly and begins playing the violin, then the violin player must take up the flute. The leader may change any time the notion strikes him. Any player failing to make the change at the proper time must pay a forfeit. And another Harvest Home Social little game you can play is a village scandal. And it may be enacted by having a mock trial in which Mr. Cy Sweeter may be tried for breach of promise. Miss Sadie Susan is the plaintiff, and Judge He's a Pest presides. The notables of the village are called in as witnesses. Squire Skinner acts as prosecutor, and Honorable Hezekiah Goose as attorney for the defendant. Serve sandwiches, cookies, and coffee. Well, that sounds like fun. All right. Here is a Thanksgiving party that you could do. Way back when, in your great-great-grandparents' day in the early 20th century, a Thanksgiving party. Decorate with chrysanthemums, corn, pumpkins, autumn leaves, footballs, fruit, vegetables, etc. Each one may be asked to bring some donation in food or clothing to be used by the Social Service Committee in helping the needy. As each guest arrives, have him write on a slip of paper his name and a number which indicates his guess on the number of petals on a large chrysanthemum in a vase nearby. The paper is then pinned on the guesser and serves as an icebreaker. After the apple race, the petals may be counted and the winner awarded a chrysanthemum or some other inexpensive prize. The apple race is next in order. Divide your party into 2 or more sides. Have them stand in straight lines facing one another and some 4 feet apart. An apple is given the leader of each line. At a given signal, each starts the apple down the line, placing it with 2 hands into the 2 hands of the person next to him. This person passes it to the next in the same manner, and so on down the line. The end person receives it and then runs as fast as possible to the head of the line, starting the apple down once more. This is continued until one side has had all of its players run with the apple, thus getting the original number 1 back at the head. Players run on the inside of the line. Now, count your chrysanthemum petals for the crowd and announce the winner of the guessing contest. Pass paper and pencils and give everyone 10 minutes to see how many words can be made out of the letters in chrysanthemum. Fix up a pasteboard imitation medal with the inscription, Champion Word Slinger, November 1920. Place, state, and pin this on the breast of the winner. Well, that tells you how long ago this was written, 1920. Now announce that you have a mysterious bottle that never fails to answer questions correctly. The entire group forms a circle. One person stands in the center with a bottle, which is one of the long-necked kind. A large grape juice bottle will be just the same. A Coca-Cola bottle will do. The person in the center asks the bottle a question such as, who is most deeply in love in this crowd? Or who has received the most proposals? Or who has the biggest ears? He then spins the bottle on its side. The one to whom it points when it stops indicates its answer. This person now exchanges places with the person in the center, and the game continues as long as desired. Sounds like old spin the bottle. Now, try pinning the head on a turkey. Have a large picture of the Thanksgiving bird, minus the head, pinned on a sheet or curtain. Give each one a chance to pin the head in the proper place after being blindfolded, sort of like, pin the tail on the donkey. Now you can play another game for their Thanksgiving party. Feather football. Now let the players divide into two sides and gather at opposite ends of a large table. In the center of the table is a downy feather. Players on both sides blow against one another in trying to get the feather over the opponent's goal. They may creep up as far as the middle of the table, but no further. Should the feather go out of bounds, that is, off one side or the other, it is put in play out from the point where it went outside, and therefore serve fruit, salad, and wafers. So let's see what else you can do here. I don't think people do this Thanksgiving anymore. I guess they just eat and watch football, but, back in the early 20th century, they had to make it a little more interesting. All right, you could have a pilgrim party. Make this a costume party and have the guests come dressed in pilgrim fashion or as American Indians. You might have Priscilla and John Alden receive folks at the door. Now, you could do a little game called the Pilgrim Scramble. When the guests have arrived, pass out sets of letters to each one, 7 letters in a set. The letter in each set will all be the same. Thus, there will be 7 P's in a set, or 7 I's, etc., for the word pilgrim. One letter, known only to the chairman or to the committee, will be your key letter. For instance, you select G as your key letter. Then you would have only one set of this letter. Of the others, you would have as many sets as are required to supply your crowd, there being several of each, at least. As soon as all the sets are distributed, a general scramble ensues, in which the players exchange letters with a view to getting the letters which will spell pilgrim. As soon as a player has the necessary letters, he reports to the chairman. It will be possible for only 7 players to accomplish this, since only 7 G's are available. Each of the 7 lucky ones may be awarded some sort of prize, such as a chrysanthemum, toy turkey, and the like. Now, here's sort of like a pantomime you can do called Pilgrim Pictures. You make a huge frame. Stand this out from the wall some distance, say 10 feet, with long sticks running back on either side from the top of the frame to the wall, thus holding the frame in place. These sticks also serve as a framework for the top and side covering. Cover the front of the frame with mosquito netting and the sides and top with dark blankets. Arrange a light in this enclosure so that it will shine on the poser. Have the frame curtained, letting pages in costumes pull the curtain aside when the picture is ready. All lights should be turned off except the light in the enclosure. If the instructions are followed as outlined, the tableau will be very effective. Following in pictures and songs may be given. The Pilgrim. Have someone sing one verse of Faith of Our Fathers as a solo during the showing of this picture. The one taking the part of the pilgrim should carry a Bible under one arm and a gun under the other. The second picture could be the first American. Someone in Indian costume who stands peering into the distance, one hand shading his eye. The next picture could be song. Have someone sing as a solo by the waters of Minnetonka or the land of the sky blue water. The third picture could be Priscilla, a girl in old-fashioned pilgrim garb poses as someone sings, "Ah, believe me, of all those endearing young charms." The fourth tableau or picture could be the attack. In this picture, the girl appears kneeling in petition before the Indian, who stands with dagger or tomahawk in hand in threatening attitude. The fifth picture could be the rescue, Indian girl, pilgrim. The rescue could be Indian and girl and pilgrim, that's it. The Indian lies prostrate in death. The girl stands with arms outstretched to her deliverer, who stands with gun in hand. And the sixth tableau could be the end of a perfect day. Girl and pilgrim pose facing one another and holding hands. Girl looks down, and pilgrim is looking intently into her face. Have quartet sing "A Perfect Day" by Carrie Jacobs Bond. That's an old song from 1909. When you come to the end of a perfect day. Now, here's some other things you can do with your Thanksgiving harvest socials. You can enjoy pumpkin pie and sweet milk. That would be nice. Here's some forfeits. You could have your party participants have to do if they lose certain portions of some of the games. 1, keep on yawning until you make somebody else yawn. That could be a forfeit. Or 2, call your sweetheart's name up the chimney. 3, say the alphabet backwards. 4, stand in the middle of a room in any position 6 people put you in. Or 5, say seashells on the seashore 3 times without making a mistake. Or another 6th forfeit could be stand on a chair and make a speech on any subject the hostess proposes. Or 7, tell each person in the room what you in turn think of him or her. I don't know about that, but that's some forfeits you would maybe have to do if you lose certain portions of these games. And finally, Brewster's message, really appropriate here for Thanksgiving time. Now have someone read Elder Brewster's message to the pilgrims, which he bade them be true to their promises. And I quote, "Blessed will it be for us, blessed for this land, for this vast continent, nay, from generation to generation will the blessings descend. Generations to come will look back to this hour and these scenes of agonizing trial to this day of small things and say, here was our beginning as a people. These were our forefathers. Through their trials we inherit our blessings. Their faith is our faith. Their hope, our hope. Their God, our God." And that's how you can celebrate Thanksgiving and harvest time socials in November, way back in the early 20th century, in great-great-grandma's day. This is Dirk Allman here, reading from Phonology, spelled F-P-H-U-N-O-L-O-G-Y, Phonology by E.O. Hardman, the Book of Good Times, 1,000 Games and Entertainments and Plans. And this is a chapter, most of which we read, dealing with what you could do in November and Thanksgiving time. Never know, you might could do these things and make your Thanksgiving more interesting. This is Dirk Allman, wishing you happy Thanksgiving time. Have a very good one and a very pleasant one. Have a good evening.